All right. Let's see, this is my first time I've ever shared this with people, so enjoy. That's like the most nerve-wracking thing for like any poet writer is sharing something that they've never tested. So, writers in the room, you know how I'm doing right now. This is called In Solidarity, a Grief Justified. A woman was lying fetal in the dairy aisle. No one stopped or even acknowledged her, so I stopped and asked her, "Ma'am, is there anything I can do for you?" She just laid there in silent prayer. I looked around, but no one seemed to care, so I stood over her and prayed with her. I hovered my hands above her head just as I'd seen my mother do in church. I prayed for her heart to be filled with love and joy and peace and understanding and for nothing to hurt. I didn't care what passersby thought of this sight, for I was merely doing what I thought was right. Who is this kid praying for this lady, they might have thought. Who does he think he is, they might have thought. I'll just fill my cart with food I'm going to throw away and never use, they might have thought. I'll just continue clogging my arteries with filth and greed, they might have thought. I'll just push my credit card to the max, they might have thought. I'll just keep walking and not find out, they might have thought. They might have thought, but they didn't. I did. I stood there protesting in the name of solar flares and nightmares. I stood there, hands out in acceptance of what I'll never be. Yet for one moment might produce a wonderment so bright, it brings about a coming of a new day. That today we shall stand in solidarity for our fallen, for our weak, who have no place to stay. I stood in silence, repeating in my head the same words my mother used to repeat to me. It's okay, son. It's okay to be afraid. The Lord is with you and with everyone today. I wanted this woman to be free of what ailed her. I wanted her balance to be restored with the cosmos, with her God, with her mother, with her bastard father. I repeated a prayer that was forever disconnected and imperfect, for I do not know what ails her. She of African skin, a pigment not that of my own. She of the diaspora, me American grown. She of dreadlocked hair and pillowed breast. She of the universe, me of the rest. All of these feelings and differences, let me try thinking for myself instead. And she of whom I pray today, she of whom suddenly exclaimed, "My son is dead!" No one told me grief would feel so like fear. He wanted 100 but only got 14 years. I'm in the dairy aisle and my water just broke. The water of my forefathers and slave mothers, whose amputation is the death rattle of love. She brandished a blade above her head. I must return to heaven with him, where I know he is waiting for me. Calm down, I said. Ma'am, please calm down. Is there anything I can do for you? In broken prayer, she stood tall, now my equal in gravity, and I thought I knew pain until I looked into her eyes. Yet I may never understand, for I have never lost a child, and my only connections with death are the 2 times I've attempted to take my own life. Seeing this woman's agony I would never want my mother to know that distress. Yet if a mother does not mourn for what she has lost, but for the opportunity her child has lost, it is comforting to know the child has not lost the end for which it was created. And there is a comfort to believe that she herself, in losing her only biological happiness, has not lost anything greater. That she may still have hope to attain peace with her mother Venus. In this lifetime, I am able to justify the grief sustained in death, especially since the only 2 connections with death are the 2 times I've attempted to end my own life. And those are not memories I wish to relive. For the fear that drove me there was created by the words of those who do not know, how much words affect those who do not know, that words being used by those who do not know what the words mean affect those who receive the words. Sticks and stones, words and bones. Words and bones. Her son will never know the feeling of being forgotten. He will never have to feel the sting of racial slurs and cradle-robbing pedophilia. However, he will forever live on through his mother. So broken-hearted, she collapsed in a dairy aisle. The same aisle she was in when she received the call that 1 year earlier telling of her son's test results and that the cancer had spread and that they must act fast. She returned to the aisle in hopes of feeling his soft skin once again. She returned to the aisle in hopes of returning to the day he was born. She returned to the aisle in hopes of never feeling alone again. I took the blade from her hand. She fell into my arms and we wept. Never believe you are alone in this world. There is always someone willing to pray. There is always something more to say. There is always something more. There is always something more. There is always something.